Let's get started with our first panel discussion for today. Brands looking to target young consumers, especially women, may just have a revelation in store for them. A new report that is titled At a Theatre Near You by Interactive TV, the cinema advertising unit of media agency Group M, says that 53% of the people visiting movie theaters today are women. The general perception is that women don't watch films as much as men do, but that probably comes from conditions that were prevalent in the 1970s or 80s when the angry young men and action films dominated the film screens and theaters were not really a place where women were meant to be. But that is increasingly changing as cinema infrastructure improves and content evolves to cater to it. India's cinema and society is changing and women are at the forefront. A window into the world of women in a male-dominated business culture and into the world of women as audience. Women and family account for a major percentage of cinema audience. Watching the latest movies at the cinema is a perfect way for women to catch up with their family or friends. And this is attracting a lot of women audience to cinemas, and it is also in a way boosting the box office collections. So ladies and gentlemen, let's see what our all-women panel has to say about this. Please join me in welcoming on stage our panelists, Ms. Nallammai Ramanathan, Executive Managing Director, Abirami Mega Mall, Ms. Nayana Borthakur, Assistant Vice President, Inox Leisure, Ms. Vaishali Hanumanth, Managing Director, DRC Cinemas, Ms. Janaki Sabesh, Stakeholder Engagement Head at QCT, actor and storyteller. May I please request our moderator, Ms. Asra Shaheen, sub-editor, TheatreWorld, to please make her way onto this stage. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the most beautiful panel that we have here today, so let's give them a huge round of applause.
For that lovely introduction. Very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Let's begin with our first panel discussion of the day, that is Women in Cinema Business and Women and Family as Audience. I think this panel discussion is a very rare opportunity because not very often do we get to discuss the representation of women in cinema industry and also women and family as audience. An insight into these facets is very critical to improving the gender parity in this industry. And also, above all, for people like you and me sitting here, it makes business sense. Why it makes business sense? Because there are three levels at which we can look at it. One is 61% of the family audience in India who go out to watch films. They go out because they want to be together with family. So that's where the family comes into picture, 61% of the audience. And so we need to understand the consumer behavior of this family audience. At the same time, coming to women audience and understanding the consumer behavior of women audience, why women are important to us is we have world over 70 to 80% of the consumer purchasing decisions are taken by women. And they are under both circumstances, that is where they have purchasing power, disposable income, and even when they don't have the purchasing power and disposable income at hand, they influence the purchasing decision. So that's why women audience and women consumer behavior, understanding this behavior is very important to us. At third level, at corporate level also, it makes sense to have women in key positions because a latest McKinsey report has found out that women have certain key leadership qualities, and it does make sense to have them in key leadership positions. That's where we are looking at a competitive edge for the future. So to discuss on these topics and lots more, we have this all-women panel today, and I'm really excited to be part of this panel discussion and to be in the middle of all these distinguished women who have created a niche for themselves in cinema and an industry that has been very, very male-centric for many years. Each one of them has created a niche for themselves in their respective streams. So we'll begin with the discussion. Nallammai, I would like to begin with you. Now, Abirami Mega Mall, as we all know, is a very popular entertainment center in Chennai. So as somebody who is running this mall, how do you think, how can we get more family and women audience to cinema? In your experience, how have you done it, and how can other cinemas, replicate that model? How do you get more family and women audience to your cinemas, whether it's services or amenities?
Thank you for the questions. Good day and good morning to all of you. Good morning. I think a bigger one. I don't want anybody to sleep it off, because it's really dark and a theatrical effect, and it's very cozy here. Doesn't look like a morning at all. Anyway, it's been pleasure being a panelist and talking about cinemas, because this is our bread and breakfast always with cinemas. Though we go to the office daily, we don't go into the cinema halls and see movies. But still, the experience is great. And when I took up office, really, how I came into office is, when my daughter got married, I was really depressed. And my husband, all of you know, Abirami Ramanathan, he said, why don't you come and take up office and show your talents? I didn't know that I have a talent to do the administration of theaters. But still, I thought, let me try my luck. And when I came into cinemas, I was really amazed. People coming out and going for cinemas, and a lot of people are there. So first I thought, why not, when we, as ladies, we always look into cleanliness first. So I thought cleanliness is next to godliness. Let us first keep hygienic. Our theatre should be very hygienic, so we'll draw more cinema goers here. So that is how I first started my career as a businesswoman into the cinema world. And I started first inspecting every day to the washrooms first, so that are very neat and clean. Even I think when our story writer Shivashankari one day came to our theatre, she said, it's so clean. Have you kept the washrooms clean? Because I've come. I said, no, every day you come and inspect. Our washrooms are very good. So she said, even I put the dupatta down, I can take it, it's so clean. And that is how we started maintaining and renovating the theatres also. So when ladies come to the theatres, first they see to the cleanliness and comfort. So it should be a hi-fi and should be very comfortable. So that is what I looked into first. So that is how we started drawing people again. Because when I entered cinema as a businesswoman, it was a recession period when TV came into force. When the small screen came, and then we had a real depression, so people didn't even come to cinema halls. Now we have again raised it to 75%. So we give proper comfort. And technically we have to improve. The sound system, the projection, the laser system, the digital system, all that we started increasing one by one. Not only the comfort, but the technical side also. So we came in to look into that. And next one was, ladies, they have to first ask and request their husbands to book the movie tickets for them, or request the children to go buy the tickets. And the children deny because they have to stand in a queue and stand in the hot sun. So we changed that. The counters came into the AC halls. So that comfort was there. Then we said we were the first to introduce dial a ticket. So you call and the tickets will come and it will be delivered at home. So the dial a ticket was very successful. And even if when the husbands land at home, the ladies were ready with the ticket and they said, we have booked the tickets, you please come along, or shall I come there and pick you up? We haven't had a dial-a-car ticket or system also. So where they will book the car also, and the car will pick them up and they come and drop. So this is how we started. The cinema goers come into the cinema halls frequently. That is why the rate of the women is gone into 53%, and still it goes more. And now net booking has come in. So even more, and even in your mobile, you'll download the app and you just book the tickets. So those kind of comfort has come into place. And right now, I think everybody has learned how to book their tickets, not even calling anybody, they have learnt it. Even in our ladies group, when we have our associations and the kitty group, all of them, they want to have a relaxation or a breakthrough. Just book the tickets, 10 of them, 50 of them, and just go and have a gala movie and then come into the restaurants. This is how now the trend has become. So I think, and when we face up troubles, we do face a lot of troubles to the audience because every day we see so many people booking the tickets and denying or coming and having a fight in the counters. My first advice to my staff is, even though you are wrong, it is nothing, you're not going to lose anything. You admit what it is and talk to them pleasingly and make them comfortable so they come again and they book their tickets. This is how, and we take care of our staff so well, so they become attached to the work. They become one of the family members, like we are not taskmasters. So unless you treat them as human beings, as one of our family members, the staff also get attached to us. So that is how we are like a family running the whole show. This is how I started, and learning. Every day is a learning experience. You learn a lot.
I think some of the specific things that you have mentioned about hygiene, those are very important, yeah, right. And also the services that you have mentioned. Moving on to Nayana, Inox has a pan-India presence and it's one of the topmost cinema chains in India. Your presence in metro cities, I think these are cities where a lot of independent women would want to go out on their own. When we talk of women, we generally club this whole thing with family, but there are a lot of women who would want to go out on their own with their friends, with their colleagues. So for this segment of audience, how do you make women feel safe, secure, and at the same time more welcoming, and they should feel confident to walk into a cinema hall and feel safe to watch the movie and come out?
Thanks, Asra, and hello, good morning to everyone. To your question, yes, there are a lot of single women and women who come alone to watch a movie. Not necessarily anymore in metros. They feel as comfortable. We are like in tier 2, tier 3, and places like Darjeeling, Vizianagaram, Kota, Madurai, or Anand in Gujarat. So
single women
yes,
coming out.
Yes. So of course there is more. The percentage would be definitely, we have not kept account, but the percentage definitely would be more in metros who come alone and in groups specifically. So. The safety, yes, safety is very important for us at Inox, and what we do is, besides your regular frisking that we do of women by women, we also make sure that the CCTVs are working properly across in every nook and corner of the place, of the property. And at the end of the day, I think the services that we give to these ladies should be, at the end of the day, we need some little pampering, we need some, good food, to be served on the seat. If we add these facilities to a lady who is maybe come after work or after college or after, day at home. So these are the things that we look after on a day-to-day basis. And I don't know, 53% seems to be, it seems that there are more women in cinema halls than men. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. But if you look at it, 53% seems less.
There is a report, in fact, which says that far fewer women go out to watch films. And one of the major reasons is safety and security concerns. Correct. By this Academy Award-winning actor, Gina Davis. So this report was conducted with reference to India.
No, I'm sure. I'm sure there has... No, but I'm talking about 52% as an overall, it seems less. The thing is, but again, it's more than the number of men. And I believe in the US also, MPAA recently did a study that 52% of women in the US go for movies. So that's definitely more than the number of men that go. So yeah, so safety definitely is a concern, and we try and make sure that they feel comfortable. Especially, we have had instances in our properties where, if somebody would want to hail a cab, or if, somebody would want to ask for a rickshaw to be brought right to the doorstep, we have done that. I mean, we go out of our way to see that the comfort is taken care of and the safety is taken care of. And of course, being a theatre chain which is present in 58 cities now, we definitely take our ladies very seriously. Thank you.
Because there have been, on social media, you get to gauge the situation on social media. So there was this query by this woman who put up this query. She says, I had been to the theatre and she went alone, and she says, people were staring at me. So is there anything wrong in a woman going alone to a cinema theatre? So probably that's where we are coming from, and where we need to make our women feel more safe and secure.
Maybe I'd like to add in that. For the safety part of it, we have cameras fitted everywhere, the CCTV camera. So if anything is lost or any dispute is there, at once we put on the camera and find out who was the person who does the mischief. So that is our safety measures, and we tell all our audience whatever it is, and they immediately find. Many of them leave their cell phones, their handbags. Once a person left 50,000 rupees with a handbag there, and he left the hall. But our staff, I know, they were very sincere enough, and we took the card from that, rang up to them, and we handed over the purse to them. So every day we find lost and found. We keep an account on it and write which movie and which theatre, which row, which chair it has been lost, and we return it to them. Plus, if the audience come, we see to their safety. We book a car for them and we leave them safe at home. That is all. So safety measure is also taken care.
Moving on to you, Vaishali. So in a city like Mysore and perhaps many other smaller cities, traditionally there has been this image trap of cinemas, that cinemas are male hangout zones. If the same single men, when they're married, they're like, no, this is not a place for family and children. So with your experience with DRC, has DRC changed that perception in Mysore, and how do you see that change now from the traditional perception?
Good morning. Yeah, I definitely see a lot of change after DRC has come into our city. Earlier, as you rightly said, theatres were a place, if it was not of a repute, no. Even in my own family, they used to say, no, you can't go. That was the idea. But now the whole thing has changed. I have a lot of single women and lady doctors who come on their own, and they feel so nice, happy. Always they leave a note saying that thank you for bringing DRC into our life. That makes us, work much more for their safety, security, ambience. Everything counts. And since it's in a mall, there is a covered parking, say they drive down and they just take the car back. So they feel very safe and secure. And we have a lot of single ladies, of course, group of ladies coming. The whole movie-going experience has changed. I see a lot of difference even in the last 6 years. So I'm very happy. And as a woman, I'm there and they feel very connected. Any small problem, they immediately come to me and say that, look, this is what happened. Can you just help us out? Or, okay, this is what your staff did. I'm really happy for that. Can I tip him? Before that, they ask us. So they feel nice that we have a place where they can hang out on their own. At the same time, it's safe, secure, and it's a good experience for them.
So it's become more of a family entertainment.
Absolutely.
Not just
morning shows and afternoons, I have a lot of ladies coming into the theatre, whereas it's evening, it's more of family crowd which comes there. So overall, I would say that yes, the perception has changed. They no longer are afraid to go to a movie theatre alone in a small city like Mysore. So I feel nice.
Nayana, would we like to give some percentage figure? Can we? What are we looking at when we say women and family audience vis-a-vis male audience? Is there any percentage?
I just follow what is there. There are very few researches that has been done on this. As Michelle initially in her thing just mentioned about 53%, which was recently done by Group M, I think in April, if I'm not mistaken, this year. And we follow the KPMG report which comes out. So yeah, so that's the, but again it varies from city to city. Like in a place like Madurai, where there are a lot of colleges, you'll find, you know, like in Pune, for example, there are more kids, as in college-going students who come during the day. There are a lot of girls who come at that point in time. So it also varies from city to city. Also the locations matter. So if it's near a college, then you'll find those audience more. If it's near a corporate hub, then you will find office goers coming after work. If it's near a residential area, then you'll find families coming in with kitty parties in the afternoons and all of that. So it also depends a lot on the location where the cinema is situated. And percentage-wise, officially, these are the only, figures that one can talk about, yeah.
We have an actor and storyteller amidst us, and she brings a very, very different, I think, a diverse perspective to what all we are talking about. Going to this, I was seeing your interview, and there was this very interesting thing that you mentioned in the interview, that when director Shankar had approached you to play Aishwarya Rai's mother's role in the film Jeans. So now we are moving to the content of cinema, and there he wanted to shatter this whole image of mother in Indian cinema of being, as you said, wrinkled woman and somebody who is forever sacrificing. So in your career of 2 decades, I think, how do you see the change of women representation in cinema?
A very good morning. Thank you, Asra, and thank you, Michelle, for the introductions. I think 2 decades seems like a long time, but 20 years back when director Shankar approached me, I thought it was a prank. And I said, no, this can't be true, because I was just 1 film old in the industry. And when he said that, I just took a leap of faith and I just did that film, because the film was a roller coaster ride and it was more of a learning experience for me. But little did I guess that once the film released, I was there for a lot of comic relief, which is very important in the entire narrative of a film. B, there were a lot of people who came up to me and said, but you look the same. You looked the same on screen and you look the same off screen. So that, I think, was one big shift in focus, where I didn't have silver hair, I didn't have wrinkles, I didn't have to go through those kind of makeup, and I didn't wear those fine jewelry and saris, heavy saris, and I was just a normal mother. And of late, if you see the mother-daughter pictures, maybe on any social media, there will be one comment at least that is passing, oh my God, you both are looking like sisters. So why not in movies? So if you see the content, and especially now with Wonder Woman, I think there's a lot of audience. 53%, I think we've just scratched the surface, like you said. I think there's a lot of huge women audience out there. And if you see in Tamil cinema, from Neelambari in Padayappa, 1999, to Shivakami in Bahubali, we still have powerful women. And it was amazing that it was essayed by the same actor, but that had negative connotations. That was necessary for the script. This had very positive. What started, maybe it was a mix of grey and white, black and white shades of Shivakami, but they are here to stay. Much is required. We need many more, women to be portrayed. If you take Piku, for example, lipstick under the burqa. Now, I did a small survey with my colleagues in Cube Cinemas, and every single response that I got was, yes, I will watch Lipstick Under the Burqa. Maybe alone, maybe with a friend. Most of them see it with a friend. So this is amazing, and with Wonder Woman, I think it seals it all. I think Patty Jenkins says that there's a woman audience out there and it is larger. So if you want to make money, she's talking, she's telling this, and I quote, to all Hollywood cinemas, saying there's a huge women audience out there and they are the next wide audience. So if you want to cash in on it, I think you need to change the way you look at women, especially in the portrayal of movies. But having said that, we still have those films where objectification of women are very much prevalent. And if, like I think Jyotika said in her recent audio launch of Magalir Mattum, I think yet to be released film, she says, please allow the role of dignity. She was addressing to all directors. Why should you have only one director among so many who gives a woman a very important role, something where she has dialogues? So if you see my roles in all the 28 odd films I've done, I give comic relief and I'd have no problem. I love, if I can make, if a dialogue can make a portion of the audience smile, why not? We need comic relief also, and it's great, and comedy doesn't come easy. But having said that, I think we have a long way to go. We have a long way to go, but we're here to stay. So it's going to be interesting to see how many directors pick this up and say that, yes, something has been proven already, and let's try it again and again.
Also, it would be interesting to see when cinema is portrayed as women-oriented cinema also, is it really women-oriented? You know, to have this whole perception of who is a good woman and who is a bad woman, somebody who is, you know, outgoing, she's doing something good in her career, so she becomes a bad woman because she's not adhering to the social norms. So what is probably even that problem was there 20 years back also, when what was portrayed as women-oriented cinema wasn't exactly women-oriented cinema. That has also changed today?
What has actually changed is the social media. You're able to discuss. Now, before you even went to see Lipstick Under the Burqa, you're already reading reviews. That again, I did in the survey I had asked, and many people said, we watch movie for the content, obviously, for the subject, and many of them said, yes, I will read the reviews before. So I'm not going to the cinema hall unprepared. Okay, we know that there are some where you keep your brains behind and just watch it for the fun. But when it's a serious movie, I do a little bit of reading before I actually go to the cinema hall. And it's nice because I come back, but surprisingly enough, none of my colleagues said that they would post a review. So maybe we don't want to talk about it. We will talk about in our pantry area, we'll talk about in discussion forums or rooms or just when we meet as friends. But maybe I don't want the world to know what I think of the film, okay? But yes, you can't be judgmental. Now, unfortunately, I think all of us are sitting on a judge chair. Even before the first half finishes, it's already out on Twitter that the film is not good. You never even give anybody a fair chance. Give them a fair chance. By the time Friday, I think evening, I can speak for all of them, they're already deciding whether they should add more shows, or because at Cube we keep getting saying that, you know, we've taken this for 1 week, but I think we're going to increase the number of shows. We only took weekend shows, but we're going to put in more shows. So that immediately, you know, as a woman, I'm like, yes, this film is doing well. But why are we judging? And yes, so unless you stop judging, you will never go with an open mind and say, this is a film that I'm going to take in its entirety. And I'm not going to say that she was a good woman. It's a perception. Maybe many women equated themselves with Neelambari. Many women found Shivakami. Now, Ramya Krishnan went on I think I read it somewhere that now people are coming and recognizing her for Shivakami. So it's the role that you essay, okay, and it's also what you believe in, but not necessarily that the same should be believed by the audience. You're very lucky if it clicks. Otherwise, you'll have to try again.
So the survey that you have done, I think it also proves that we have a very emancipated audience these days.
Absolutely. I mean, everybody is here to, I will not just go for a movie. I'll read about it. I'll figure out whether I actually need to spend that 3 hours in a movie hall. Because there are some people who actually said that I might not watch it. I watch it in a theater because of the large screen format and the experience. But if it is available in other formats, I might. About 25% said, I might just watch it at home.
That's good. I think since this lipstick under my burqa has come up, so, you know, when there's a women-oriented cinema, there's also, sometimes you also find that it's like, you have more men over there watching that, you know, film than women, because again, the same thing, they are not feeling comfortable being there. So with, you were telling me something about the cinema and how it has, it was a big success with families also coming and watching that film. Would you want to add something to that?
That's right. When Lipstick Under Burqa was screened, I was a little hesitant because we still, to a certain part, it's a conservative town. So I didn't know how people would take it. But I was surprised that night shows were all the family audience which were coming, and the 1:45 slot, it was exclusively ladies, very few men. So it had got a mixed proportion of ladies as well as family people coming. So I was getting, you know, mixed signals. Arey boss, what's happening? You know, morning 1:45 shows, we hardly had few men. Very less men. But the night shows, it was completely family audience, which they would come with their wives and watch and said that, yes, it's a bold movie. So I think, yes, it has got a good response, which I was not very positive in the early sense that I thought it may not work in a city like Mysore. When I showcased them 2 shows, I was little hesitant whether these kind of movies will be taken well. But I'm surprised, and every day we learn, as she said. So it was a good experience for me.
Talking of concession sales growth, I think this is again another area where, you know, family is very central to our FMB zone, to the concession zone. So how can we make it more interesting for the family audience?
Okay, I can speak for Inox. So what we do is we try and curate different menus as such, for which is attached to the movie. Suppose if it's a movie like 2 states, we did a Punjabi and a South Indian menu. A movie like Rangoon, where we introduced a Burmese cuisine. I mean, we didn't do an elaborate spread, I mean, and we didn't do the typical causeway, but we did something interesting with the samosa. They have something which is like a samosa version in Burma, so we use that to promote the movie. So it's basically a twist to make a little difference, something interesting to talk about. And families, I mean, it's the staple, right? I mean, you come and watch a movie and you have your popcorn, cola, you know. So if there's something interesting, something, to talk about, then we try to make a little change in the menu and give them a little, something which is little different. We have a group of chefs who work in-house, so they help us curate this. And end of the day, families and women specifically, they, as I said, they want to get pampered when they come out and have a good time. So, we try and do that. We have certain other facilities like, we can order sitting on your chair through the app. So it comes and gets delivered on the seat. So you don't even have to go out, do the queue and do all of that. And even if you are not in the theater, if your parents or your mom is gone alone to watch a film, you can order on the app and get it delivered on her seat. So, these are certain small things that matter. And anyways, content is the king. So first people will come to watch a movie and then these ancillaries follow. But they help in getting a repeat customer and, so pampering is what I would say.
Nallammai would also want to add something.
Yeah, I'll add on to it. As she says, we have the booking, not only the ticket booking in net, but we do have the concession also. So many of the audience, our audience, do book through the net, and it has been, as soon as they come, it has been given in their respective seats. So they are so happy about not standing in the queue. But internationally, I think this popcorn, eating a popcorn and watching a movie is in general. So we have a variety of popcorns also. And now mushroom popcorns have come. It's, we have the chocolate popcorns and the caramels, which is also a hit. Strawberries and all different flavors of popcorns. So, and they take a basket, I mean a bucket of popcorn or something huge, and the family takes it and they enjoy it. Plus, we do have, because since we have a mall and a food court, everything is being booked through that, and whatever food, night dinner, they finish it off while watching the TV, I mean the cinema. So even if you want a dosa or a biryani, everything is being done through booking, and they do enjoy while watching the movie. So I think they are so happy watching the movie and finishing their dinner or lunch, whatever it is. So we satisfy our customer through this way.
Moving on to a very different note, when we talk of women representation in cinema or any industry for that matter, we cannot not talk about glass ceiling. Now, glass ceiling is this metaphor that has always been used to define this very invisible barrier that's there in the growth of women who, who are working in the corporate world or in companies. When they want to grow, there is a barrier, and that barrier is invisible. So basically talking of the kind of challenges that may be very specific to women. Now, we have this distinguished panel here, and I would really want to know from each one of you, what are the kind of challenges perhaps that you faced in your careers initially, and today that you all are in a decision-making position. I'm sure you would want to do things differently so that you shatter that glass ceiling for the women who are working with you, for your employees, women employees, and your women workforce. So I think we should start with Janaki.
So I think this entire glass ceiling, according to me, is in our mind. Is in the minds of us women, because we are the ones who keep putting these obstacles in front of us, saying that no, I think I'm going to be viewed differently, I'm going to be done this, people are not going to take me seriously. Now the battle is lost there itself. How am I even going to convince a theatre owner to go and put something of a cube cinema server, which is like the chicken and the egg story? Nobody's done it before, so why should I do it? So when I went from theatre to theatre in my initial, about 15 years back, when digital was not even known, I did have my male colleagues with me, but then it is all the power of conviction. It is how much you are convinced about the product. Vaishali knows, Nallammai ma'am is there, they're all our clients, and unless and until, if there was, because we women pick up, certain intuitive instincts. So if there's a woman who's selling something and she's not 100% with it, women can find out, men can find out. The similar way, women can find out if men are not very, very in with the product that they're selling. So the ceiling is in our mind, which we need to shatter. Second, I think I've been very blessed at Cube Cinemas that I have women at very high places, people at decision-making levels. And when you have women at decision-making places, you know that, yes, this is a company which is going to make you extra comfortable. Flexi hours, do whatever you can, and they look at you,
they even give a discount or reduce whatever it is. So the payment has been done with due respect, and when all our agencies, so we see to that, and when 5th comes, I mean the beginning of the month, because they start paying their staff only on the 10th. I said, don't do that. Please, you send us the bill on the 1st of the month. Every first day, and the 3rd we will send you the check. This is how we deal, and you please, by 5th, please deliver all their staff, whatever wages they have. And now we have a real system of putting it in the bank and getting their number, and so the staff are very happy about it. So they just go into the bank and they take it from the ATM and come. Now it's very, very comfortable now it's become.
So,
I think as a storyteller, I think I have to make this point that most stories of women who've made it need to be shared, need to be told. Now what we need is only stories, because stories are, content is king, and we believe in stories, and when they are truthful stories, gone are those days when you say, oh, she's managing very well, she's managing her family and she's managing a career. No, no, that's all taken for granted now. You will be managing both. That's there. That's like telling a man, you never ask a man, no, how do you do it all? You only ask a woman, how do you manage it? Or isn't this a, fine line that you're drawing between this and that? When you don't ask this question of a man, why should you ask of a woman? So I think these kind of stories that need to come up, and I was very happy when TheatreWorld did this article on Vaishali. I said, hey, I know her, and because these kind of stories need to be told, and they have to pick up these stories and, show it even to a larger audience, which will inspire some girl somewhere that, yes, I can do it. I mean, I'm sure she just needs that push.
So from what each one of the panelists have said, I think we are moving in the right direction. And with films like Lipstick Under My Burqa, which have touched some topics which were always considered, taboo in Indian society, women's sexuality. It's done so well at the box office, we have testimony here to that fact. And although the perception was always that any woman-oriented movie, any woman-sensitive movie, it won't do great at box office. It's good for critics, but not at box office. This one movie has shattered that image, and I think many in the past also. And then in Hollywood also, we've had this Superwoman movie which has done so well, the Wonder Woman. So from the Wonder Woman there to all the Wonder Women here, and many other women out there who are waiting for the right opportunity. If they're given the right opportunity, they're there to prove their mettle. So I think on this positive note, do we have any audience questions?
Good morning, everybody. My question is not to any specific person. To the distinguished panelists, most of you are holding decision-making positions in your respective companies. I would want to know, has any policy decision been initiated in any of your companies where you've decided to employ more women workforce?
Women staff, the counters. So we see to that more of the ladies who are left alone in their families are taken into consideration. So they will be given a job, and so they will have a happy life. So definitely we see to that women are taken into as our staff.
Okay, is it any percentage you have in your mind that this is the percentage of women workforce I need to have in my company?
No, it's not the percentage. As and when they come, we do pick up them and put them in our, enroll them in the staff. In all ways of managing the theatres. And the box office and the ticket counters and all that.
Nayana ma'am?
So as I said, our last show gets over at about 1 o'clock in the night, right? So as a policy at Inox, we make sure that the women who are working till late gets dropped. That's given. Secondly, we make sure that, while in office, they're taken good care of. They have certain expectations, so that is met. And, recently with the government policies of maternity leave and, all of that which has been implemented, which is definitely implemented at Inox. So, yeah, so these are certain things that, that comes right to my mind right now.
Thank you.
Recently taken on a role in HR, so I wouldn't be able to give you policy decisions, but I think I'm very proud, and I'm sure my HR head and my colleagues are here. Every department in Cube Cinemas has women, right from mastering, from our cinema network, from cinema marketing, from finance and accounts, from legal, HR, and that speaks volumes of, we don't have to go looking for them, they're there. We just have to pick and, since they are there, all pervasive, and we're a force to reckon with. Might be small in number though, but that's okay. We have a voice and it is heard.
I believe even in our company we have women in every department, and so that speaks a volume about the
Thank you so much.
Now. Yeah, thanks.